it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're
Done it
doing
already.
it. We're doing it. We've done it already. We're going live. This week, the U.S. Supreme Court says Arrow violates copyright. I can't wait to hear their updated ruling on Betamax recording. Police in the UK spend half their time reacting to threats, bullying, and other crap originating on social media. Truly, we live in a golden age of streamlined communication. And a little robot is trying to hitch a ride across Canada by asking politely. He certainly picked the right country for that. My name's Justin Pott. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and you're listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. Actually, with me today from the UK, as usual, is Mr. James Bruce. How's it going, James?
It's good. No lack of sleep.
No lack of sleep?
I'm still doing good. Well, a little
I
bit.
guess you've just attached a Raspberry Pi to your child, and you have set times for the kid to sleep, and it obeys those commands because you've already taught your kid to understand Python inputs.
Yeah, that or brain electrodes.
Yeah. So you've got all that going. I would expect nothing less for little Oculus. Also with me from Connecticut is Mr. Dave LeClaire. How's it going, Dave?
Good. I'm officially a fan of Uruguay.
Oh, really?
My new favorite football team.
Wait, what are you talking about? There's no such sport as football. We have decided this is a football-free haven.
Yeah, but
as much as I want to talk about it, and as much as the chat room will be talking about nothing else, we're trying to keep it clean here.
But it's my favorite team. I just want everyone to know.
Don't care.
Chat room at makeuseof.tv/live is active. They're talking about what it feels like to live in certain countries. And there's a bit of an outline here about the description of what it feels like to live in the UK right now. James, did you read this?
I did. It's very accurate. Do you want to read it?
Very accurate, yeah. At the moment, says Scudderman, it feels like we're in a limbo state. The recession hit us harder than any of our politicians want to admit, and the measures they put in place after hit us even harder, particularly the people on the so-called breadline. But at the same time, we're a first-world country with easy access to food, water, medicine, and making things a large portion of the world can't take for granted. We're financially cripples, but we're still a major political power who has to help other countries, even if we can barely afford to keep our own country running. That's kind of how it feels. So I'm wondering, Technophiliacs, how does it feel to live where you live? I'm wondering, Dave, how does it feel to live in Connecticut? Are you even capable of communicating that?
It feels like where I've always lived, so I don't know any different.
Oh, that's sad, man.
I think every 4 years, because of the World Cup, Brits become very introspective. It's just awful and terrible, and it just serves as the symbol. And I think you just see this kind of thinking pop up every 4 years.
We've always been very introspective and complainers.
Yeah.
That is what we
That's
do.
true.
We complain about.
So I'm wondering what's it like to live where you live. Get in touch with us. You know how to do that. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, the three of us are going to together move on to the news. Sound good?
No.
No? Well, I'm doing it anyways. Arrow violates copyright, says the Supreme Court. This is just happening this morning if you're listening live. It's yesterday or 2 days ago, depending on when you're listening if you're not. But basically, the Supreme Court has said Arrow violates copyright. This is interesting, right? Because the airwaves are free. I have an antenna in my house I use to pick up live TV broadcasts, and I can watch stuff because the airwaves are free. Now, many people don't realize this because so many people just pay for cable out of habit, but they are free, and all Arrow was doing was technically rebroadcasting stuff. But if you're familiar with this story, this is going to be redundant, but I thought I'd explain it. They had thousands of little tiny antennas that picked up these signals in major urban areas, and they would rebroadcast it from there to individual computer or iPad users or whatever. And they thought it was legal because they weren't using one antenna to capture everything. They were using just tons of little tiny ones, and that was kind of the loophole. I guess the Supreme Court decided that while Arrow was technically within the law as it was written, they violated the spirit of the law. They were basically acting like a cable company, and if they want to retransmit stuff, they need to pay the retransmission fees, same way the cable companies do right now. Interesting, if this was overruled, I bet you the cable companies would have just turned around and told the TV networks, you know what, I'm not paying you. This stuff's on the air for free right now, we're going to do it. And it probably would have been great to see all these TV networks put up their own live streams. Unfortunately, that's not to be here stateside. In the UK, James, you already have retransmissions of basically all live broadcasts, don't you?
We do, but we also have Freeview DVRs, Freeview, which is like it's an over-the-air digital thing, but and you have to buy a little set-top box. But the set-top box makers, they have to pay the BBC a
Really?
small licensing fee and implement copy protection, which is, I think, the core of the issue here, because all DVRs have to pay some kind of licensing fee, right?
I didn't know that.
That's as I understand it, but Aereo wasn't doing it. It's not like they bought an actual DVR and then that was hence paying the licensing fee. They made their own DVR technology.
Well, it's not
the licensing
the
fee was
DVR. It's not the DVR that's at the heart of the ruling. In fact, Scalia, one of the justices on the Supreme Court, actually wrote that, like, if you delayed the stream an hour, you'd probably be within your rights. Now, I have no idea why he thinks that. It's not clear if anyone else agrees it, but that was in the opinion that was written by Scalia. So that's kind of strange. So it's pretty clear the DVR is actually not at the heart of this ruling here, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things, though. It's not just that, but then
Yeah.
I think it was partly that, because I do take issue with the wording of the ruling, which is where they say Aereo streams constituted public performances of the content, which they clearly didn't.
Yeah.
Like, they would have been an encrypted streaming channel to the customer.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea which part of that can be construed as a public performance.
What
Just as
Aereo...
Netflix isn't, right?
What they claim, and I don't know if this is technically true, I have no way to prove it, but what they claim is each individual Aero user is getting their own stream, basically.
Their own copy of the file. Yeah, they didn't even share hard drives and say, like if a customer didn't actually set the recording.
It would be much cheaper from a bandwidth perspective to just
Sure.
have one live stream going out, right? Because
Yeah,
outgoing's expensive. Supposedly what they were doing is they had 50,000 or whatever separate streams up.
Yeah.
Whoever
Customers
happened to
were
watch.
all inside a box, and that's what they thought would get them around this loophole. There was no...
Yeah.
It's not like they were just recording one copy and then sending that to everyone.
No.
Like, if a customer didn't actually set their Aereo DVR to record it, they couldn't get it. They couldn't just request it from the server. It wasn't there. They didn't record it. They don't get it.
I had a hard time cheering for these guys, because while that's a pretty impressive technical workaround around a legal problem, it's such a loophole, it just seems so weird. Just not sure about it. Just not sure.
I think all we can say was it was disruptive.
Yeah, I'm
And that was
concerned.
about it.
Because Arrow is a subscription service. There are other services that do the same thing. There's FilmOn, which was doing the same thing, and still is, so far as I can tell. I've been using it to watch the World Cup a little bit. It's already been shut down for streaming, like NBC, CBS, the major networks, but they've been broadcasting PBS, and I'm wondering if that's going to go away too now. That would be a shame. I've really enjoyed FilmOn's service.
Well,
Very similar.
What is it?
FilmOn is Ariel, but free, basically. Like, there was no subscription.
How do they offer that?
Ads.
So
I have
it's
no
like-
idea if it was profitable or not. It's owned by this actor dude who's a millionaire, so it probably didn't need to be profitable. But they were just doing like a Me Too service. But you can watch.
It's like
BBC.
Hulu, right? So you
No. It's live TV.
Oh,
It's live
Oh.
TV. You can go to
Right.
filmon.com right now, and you being where you are, you'd see the BBC and all that. And I have it hooked up to XBMC, and I love it. I love it. It's a great way to watch my local PBS station. I'm in the mountains. It's a huge pain in the ass to position my antenna just right so I can get PBS. I have to stand on one leg and kind of be in just the right position, and then I can get it. But then if I turn my neck to look at my screen, it cuts it out, right? So finding an HD stream online free of charge was a pretty big deal for me. I was pretty excited. I want to watch Sherlock and such. So you're kind of sad if that goes away too because of this. There's a whole bunch of different services that could be affected by it. Now, what won't be affected by it, presumably, are services that are working with the carrier, and I covered one of those recently. I'm trying to remember the name. Give me a second. Nimble.tv actually works with broadcasters, works with the channels, and Aereo was just free TV, right? It's stuff you can get over the air right now. There is no cable stations. So this one, it costs money, but you can watch cable stations with it. But yeah, at the pricing, it's probably not going to be that much cheaper than cable. But there are other options out there if you want to watch TV online. They're just, unfortunately, just as pricey as cable for the most part. So maybe just don't watch TV. Play more video games. Read a book. That's my solution to the Arrow ruling.
I like the
Dave?
video games, but the book, I don't know. Books are weird. they have all these little black symbols just on
Yeah.
each page, and then somehow that all comes together into like something, and it just
You know
the
what?
whole
You know
thing is
what?
ridiculous.
We're going to talk a little bit more about virtual reality later, but I think if VR can become half as immersive for me as a book is, I will be blown away. To me, like book reading, with all the technology that exists, nothing makes me feel inside a character's head or inside a story more than reading a book, because it's all happening literally in my own mind. And maybe I just sound like an educational ad from the 70s when I say, you should read, it's the real adventure. But you know what? That's just how I feel. That's legit what I think. None of these technologies, in terms of immersion, have surpassed the book.
Well, if you're going to say that, then there's like nothing compared to the immersion of having a lucid dream or something then, right? That's even better than reading a book, because it is literally in your head. There's none of these eyes getting in the way and words that you need to mess with.
Maybe.
Words. What's a word?
So, we can't talk about how this World Cup player bit another dude because it's not technology, so we can't get to that. Sorry, chat room.
It's pretty funny though.
Why would we talk about a Shut
Yeah.
up.
Some guy bit a guy in the chat room. That's what
cares?
they want to talk about. Who cares what the chat room wants? That's why we have them, isn't it? Moving right along.
The chat room is so
bullshit.
broken for me, man. It just says 0 online. It refuses to not say 0 online, and I have to refresh if I want to see new messages.
So I messaged the guys at tlk.io who run our chat room, and we're going to get them on here. And you know what? We're going to grill them. Because this free service you offer that has no ads, it's not working perfectly, and we want to know why. So
I mean, it's one thing to not be working perfectly, but it hasn't been working perfectly for like 4 months, and yet we still use it for some.
But why do we
unknown
still
reason.
use it? Why do we still use it?
Nothing better.
I guess so.
Why can't James make us a chat room from scratch?
Because I'm busy.
Why don't we take up another 5 minutes on the show talking about this and then not doing anything?
You're not busy, James. You have nothing to do.
A little person just came out of your wife, and you're trying to adjust your life to taking care of it. Well, I can't understand why you don't have time to do a chat room from scratch right now.
I can't.
Anyways,
I don't. The
yeah,
baby can
that's
wait. The
ridiculous.
baby has at least like a year of being a baby.
Yeah.
The chat room is here now.
What? The baby's here now. What did you even say?
Yeah, but it's going to be a baby a week from now and a month from
Yeah.
now. The chat room is important.
Wow.
Excellent
Wow.
point.
Yeah, excellent.
I can
You are.
see that.
Who says the American?
Just think about it like the baby's up at night crying because it needs food. Our chat room is up at night crying because it needs to work. Would you ignore a crying baby?
Yeah, I let the wife deal with it.
Oh, well, you're a bad father, then. Go away.
Moving right along. Social media bullshit, writes James, now makes up at least half of frontline policing work in the UK. This is based on an article from the BBC. What's going on here?
Okay, so the way I read this originally from the BBC, let's make that clear, is that it made it sound like half of everything that the UK police deal with, when they say frontline police, that means kind of like people out on the beat, walking the streets, right? Half of what they deal with is from social media complaints, like people being mean to you on Twitter or starting
Well,
up
they're
a
not exactly
Facebook.
out on the streets if they're doing that, are they?
Well, no, clearly. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Dave posted us a follow-up to this written by some random blog. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Dave Parak, our good friend, come on the show, Dave. And he seems to think that the story is just a wild exaggeration.
It does appear to be an exaggeration based upon the personal experience of a couple of police chiefs, not like a statistical study.
Okay.
Actually,
So
just an experience. But the claim is that half of all the calls that police officers get come from social media, come from.
I wouldn't be surprised if half of all the calls are coming from social media. I doubt they're spending half their time on it, right? Because a lot of these, there's basically nothing illegal going on, right? It's not illegal for
Well,
me.
you don't know that until you investigate it, which is the frustrating thing. You have to look at it. You can't just say, sorry, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah, but it's not going to take as long as a murder investigation, James. That's my point. Like, it'd be pretty clear what's going on pretty quickly because
people don't get murdered in England, Justin. We don't have guns, remember?
I'm pretty sure you got murders there. I watched Sherlock,
There's a
like I said
few.
earlier, and it seems like you've got some messed up crap going on there, just constantly. Yeah. I don't know about you guys. I also judge Sweden by those books. I forget their name now. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That's what Sweden is in my head. That's all I'm saying.
But
That's
I mean,
all I'm
every
saying.
one of these stupid calls that they get, they've got to investigate. They've got to write a report on. They've got to fill out a bloody form that says this was bullshit, or
No, it's
like-
it's interesting, right?
right.
Because before, so let's say Dave LeClaire is walking down the street, and he's wearing his nicest outfit. He's really proud of it. It's got like a 8-bit tie and all this other crap, and someone just yells, "Hey, why don't you go kill yourself, you jerk?" Dave might be stunned by this for a while, right? Right? Like that, but you'd forget about it in like 15 minutes, right, Dave?
Well, I have a very short attention span.
Yeah. Yeah, but if someone tells you to kill yourself online, kind of a totally different thing, right? Because now you've got evidence of it. It's there, and you can send that to the police a lot easier, and it's just going to stick in your mind longer. Wouldn't you think?
No.
No?
I would have thought that
It would
generally.
probably stick in my mind less long because I'd be like, well, that's just some random internet guy being a random internet guy. But if some random person on the street came up to me, I'd be like, that's kind of fucked up, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really do
but
that.
you wouldn't know who it
whereas
is
online,
really.
you would do it.
Okay.
I'm sure
So
I
you-
threatened to kill people online before, but this is kind of ridiculous if it's taking up half of police time.
Well, I think part of the line that they said
Can we do that?
is that a lot of people have no idea what is and isn't illegal, right? And
Well,
they
that's
hear
the
these.
funny thing, because in England it is pretty much illegal to do anything on Twitter.
Yeah,
Wait, so is it illegal to tell someone to kill themselves online?
it's harassment certainly.
Yes, that would be construed as illegal. Yep.
If you say I'm going to kill you, that's a threat, and legally speaking, that's not protected speech, even in
Yeah,
America.
but what about a suggestion? I mean, I'm suggesting that they kill themselves. Like, it's
It
just
doesn't even have to be as serious as
friendly
that. Kids
suggestion.
have been arrested in the UK for making jokes about a recent tragic event. They've done this on like Facebook, like a kid was kidnapped or something, and they'll make a joke about it.
Yeah.
Obviously in poor taste and completely stupid, but they'll be arrested and charged with God knows what, and they've gone to prison for it.
Well, I don't know the ins and outs of British law. I can't speak to that, but I could see why, given that that's a possibility, people would be confused about what is and isn't worth going to the police with. You know what I'm saying? So I could see a lot of people just, especially if the cops have like an email address, you just forward it to the cops, and then they have to deal with it, right?
A lot of people will dial the emergency number to report this kind of stuff, though.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
I would love to be the guy that calls 911 and be like, 911, what is your emergency? Well, I was playing Call of Duty, and there was a little kid, and it started off real good. We were playing the game, we were winning, but then I died, and he's like, you know what? First he said he had sex with my mom last night, and I thought that was a little strange, but I was like, you know, whatever. Then he told me to kill myself, and you know what? I tried to do it. So I think you should arrest this kid because I took his advice, and now I have a bullet hole in my chest, and I think it's really messed up. So I think that would be a really weird 911 call to have to make, and I think I would just probably let it slide.
You can't let it slide.
Has moved.
I'd be like, you know what? I chose to shoot myself, so it's really not the kid's fault. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I still think we should do away with Twitter, and we've got a replacement now as well, which I think is going to be less ripe for abuse than Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, because it really limits what you can say. Twitter only had 140 characters. This new service only allows 2, and you can't even.
Yeah. You can't even choose which two.
The deal is, all you can say is yo. It's an Android app that just says yo, and it's been way more popular than it deserves, probably because it's so weird that people like us mention it. So thanks for adding this to the outline, James.
You have to add something this stupid to the outline because it's stupid.
Yeah, why? Why are you installing this, people? 50,000 active users. It launched as a joke on April Fool's Day. And users have sent 4 million yos to each other, reports TechCrunch. Why? Why are they doing this?
Do you have to both have the app in order to
like hi or?
I think it just sends a text that says yo.
Oh, that would be
I'm
annoying.
not totally clear on that.
I don't like it.
hope it makes them pay for the text.
Most people
there
have
yo?
unlimited texting, so I don't think that would be a problem.
Can you combine your yos and make it like yo yo yo? Can you do that?
I'm gonna go with no, because that would be too many yos.
Yeah,
We need
well,
to
you
keep-
could maybe do 3 yos in a row. This reminds me of one of the insanely popular features early on in the history of Facebook. One that I'm glad has been relegated to the dustbin of history, and that is the poke. It was
Poke is
never
still there, isn't
clear.
it?
I don't think poking's there
You can
anymore.
still do that, can't you?
Yeah, you can
Can-
still poke people.
What? Okay, people don't use it like they used to. I haven't been poked in so
I thought
long.
it was taken away from like the default things, but like it was still an app that you could install, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I had a poke war going with some girl that I went to college with. I think even long after, I think it was probably
A
7
poke
years.
war,
we were-
yeah. Can you
This
define?
is exactly what I'm demonstrating, though. There's no difference between poking and this Yo app. It's
Well,
a
the main
smartphone.
difference is that I don't have to download a separate app.
Yeah, you're right.
Poking
I
was
can't
just in
find-
Facebook, and it was just neither of us was willing to give up, so we just kept it going for years and years
So a
on
poke
end.
war is literally where you just keep poking each other.
Well, I mean, it was like once every couple of days, one of us would go in and do it, and another one would do it back, and then it would go back and forth for years.
Could you not could you not do more than one at a time? Like do a triple poke attack?
No, you can't
Was that
poke
a
them
thing?
until they poke you back. So once you
Can you
send your
not?
poke, it's in the system, and you can't poke them again until you receive a poke.
See, now I just look like an idiot that never actually used the poke feature.
No. You look like less of an idiot for
Yeah.
having not used the poke feature.
You're a brilliant human being who never used the poke.
I
feature.
look like an idiot for having used the poke feature. You
Seriously,
have
I
this
never-
way backwards.
I've been had it used on me. I don't
And
think
for
I've
having called it a poke war.
So I don't know. Sometimes these things just become viral for whatever reason. Drew,
Apparently, we
keep-
have a new chat room, guys. It's Blue Chat.
Yeah, and it's working a lot
Drew.
better. So maybe
How do we?
need-
Yeah, but how do we embed this into the live page? Probably can't.
See, that's the thing. We
yeah.
can't. You know
No, we
what? For now, it's working, and everyone went there, so that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, let's go there.
Well,
Yeah.
there's only 4 people there, so I wouldn't say everybody went there, but there are.
No,
there
is
are only
there
4
still some
people at the
people
other
on the
place
other
who-
one? No one's posted anything since the link to that, so maybe our chat room's just dead.
Well,
Because
this chat room sucks. I mean, look at it.
it's hideous, but you know
It looks
what?
like
it has one-
AOL. I mean,
It has one key advantage, James. You have to
It
admit
works.
this. It's working. People can use it to communicate. So yes, the
You
design's
don't
not
have
as
to refresh the page every time
Yeah.
you want to see if there's a new message, and it actually tells you how many people are online. It's fucking nonsense. I can't believe
Yeah.
it.
I don't know why you have a Swedish face. Casey wants to know if we can poke Pokemon. I'm so glad that chat room's
James,
working.
are you using a
right along.
yen?
oh, I'm on a VPN apparently. Oh, I always do that. I keep forgetting.
You've got a Swedish IP for some reason.
I was gonna say because mine always goes through Sweden too for some reason. Why is it always Sweden?
I think Sweden arounds all the dodgy files.
I haven't used my VPN in a while. Maybe I should download some things on a VPN for fun.
Well, you got to check the security of your VPN, James. It might not be locked down because apparently half of all SSH Heartbleed vulnerable servers still aren't patched. Now, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. A lot of server maintainers don't patch stuff regularly, right? But this seems like kind of a crucial update. This seems like one you should maybe prioritize. James?
Yeah, I find this really difficult to believe, given that it can't be like these have to be from some kind of service providers, like web hosts, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, it can't just be 300,000 individual users running their own Linux servers. That's ridiculous.
Well, let's say it's
But apparently,
GoDaddy hasn't updated yet. That would be hundreds of thousands of servers. So it could be some of these bigger hosting companies. And you know what? Some I'm not implicating GoDaddy here specifically. I'm confident they would have upgraded quickly. But there's some of these old school companies that have been providing servers for decades that are a little more slow to install security updates, and maybe they shouldn't be. But maybe their customer base doesn't care. So whatever.
of course, they can't
You know,
actually list
Security updates always do take a while to trickle through.
They can't list who these vulnerable servers are, of course. Because if they did, they'd all be hacked.
Well, who's they? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Hey everyone, we haven't updated yet, but I'm pretty sure they will be hacked because it's pretty easy to determine what version of software is running on a server, isn't it? Or you could just try running the exploit and see if you get in or not.
Yeah, that's one way of doing it. I mean, you just bulk scan a bunch of IP
Anyways.
addresses on the port.
If you're listening and you run a major web app and/or service, upgrade your shit. Just saying. That's all I think we need to say about that. Let's talk about Miyamoto. He is apparently uneasy about virtual reality. Well, this makes sense. He was uneasy about 3D. Dave?
Finally, somebody with a good head on his shoulders knows that VR is just bullshit.
No, it shows that Nintendo...
That's right, the creator of Mario, Zelda, and everything Nintendo has that's valuable is not feeling confident about an immersive Zelda experience.
Actually, what he says makes sense, though. He says that it's mainly just the person going and sitting in a corner with the headset on playing by themselves is in direct...
okay, that is bullshit. Sorry, what does Nintendo make most
bullshit?
of money on? It makes its money
Smash
on
Bros.
what? Nintendo DS? Being
Well,
a
he
little
says it's in
handheld
contrast
game
with what they're
console.
doing with the Wii U. Because that's all about getting in a room with your homies and playing games.
Their money spinner is the DS, which makes children stare down at a tiny screen for hours and hours on end, not do any sports, and completely resent their friends. Don't give me this bullshit about him being,
wait,
VR is so antisocial.
Where did we get resentment?
Not
Why is
resent,
that?
reject.
Reject.
I don't
This is-
reject. I will
this is
reject my
an-
friends because I play.
DS is
video-
antisocial.
Yeah, the DS is antisocial. You got a bit of a point there. You got a bit of a
But
point.
it has the street passing where you gotta go with people in the real world
The only
and walk
reason
by
he
them.
hates is because he doesn't have a good option, a good solution yet. He hasn't made Oculus.
They can bring back the Virtual Boy. No, seriously though, the difference between the DS and any of these options, like the virtual, is if someone walks up to you, you can hit pause and say, "Oh, hi." If you're on your Oculus, whatever the hell, I walk up to you, you're just gonna be like, and then like if I shake your shoulder, you might just think it's cool feedback from the Oculus. Like you're not gonna notice anyone in the room exists unless they like physically hit you.
I think if you had kids who owned a DS and you had ever tried to call them down for dinner, you would probably not say that.
Well, that's true. I mean, but that's the same with television. I don't know.
Or with video games on a Rift. If a kid had a Rift and you tried to call him down for dinner, he'd be like, "No, I'm eating virtual dinner."
Exactly, that's my point. It's the damn same thing, and it's
no different.
ludicrous of them to be saying this.
Well, I think all he's saying is that there's no way that a Rift could be construed as a social gaming experience, whereas a Wii U or even a DS with like trading Pokemon and stuff could be.
Well, it depends how
Trading
immersive
Pokemon
it
is a
it depends how immersive it gets. Because if you can see other people that you're playing the game with and talk to them in something resembling real time, then that's social, right?
So
It's not
antisocial.
It's not the in-social activity that you're getting from like sitting on a couch playing Mario Kart with 3 of your friends, right? But I don't know. It's kind of more what Xbox is doing with its online gaming. Most people play those games alone in a room with other people all over the world through the internet, right? That's more how that works.
Yeah, I suppose.
I just think it's him saying
the fact that I think it's the fact that you're just enclosing yourself in this box and the outside world doesn't exist at all. You can't turn your head and be like, you know, your girlfriend walks in the room, you can't turn your head from the TV and say hi, because if you turn your head, you're just turning your virtual head.
Well, that's silly. You could say the same thing about sitting close to a big TV, and eventually we'll have even bigger TVs that cover your whole wall. And then there'll be a ceiling in your roof
still
too.
look away at any time without having to take something off of your head.
Okay, so it's wearing a hat thing that somehow gets to you.
It's just it's completely locking yourself out from the outside world.
It means we're not going to tackle it yet because we haven't thought of one. But when Oculus is successful, then we'll probably jump in too late.
If Oculus is successful.
Ha!
I'm still very confident that Oculus is not going to take off in a big way for mainstream.
I don't know. I believe that Facebook, when they buy a company, never screws it up, right? That doesn't happen.
To me, it's just it's the whole like people don't like wearing 3D glasses in their TV in their living room to watch TV. That did not take off in the slightest, and this is that multiplied out times 1,000.
No, that's a discomfort versus a reward thing. The 3D glasses was that unless you really liked 3D, there's no real benefit to it.
Well, unless you really like having the screen all around you instead of being in front of you in a certain designated area, there's no benefit to VR.
But pretty much anyone who tries VR says, "Oh my god, that was amazing! It was so immersive." The reward from having that discomfort, it outweighs the discomfort, right?
But you have an Oculus.
Also with the 3D glasses.
Yeah, that was okay.
You have an Oculus, right?
Yes.
What percentage of your gaming time do you use it with?
Very little, because there's very few games right now.
Well, I guess that's
And because I don't actually touch my PC that much anymore, I just prefer to sit in the living room in front of the TV.
Oh, why is that? That's interesting. Why might
That sounds like what I've been saying all along.
Yeah.
Because I prefer the controller.
Okay. We'll see. That's not a very immersive way to experience your gaming, James.
It is, because I have a big TV and I sit bloody close. With speakers turned up loud. It's pretty immersive. But you're right, though. If I could get a Oculus Rift hooked up to my Xbox One so I could laze around on the sofa, I would.
Well, that might happen with the Morpheus thing.
You're right. And if that turns out to be good, I will buy that too.
I'm sticking with my Virtual Boy.
I'm sticking with my television and computer monitors.
Going down the gaming rabbit hole just a little bit further. There's a U.S. college that's offering athletic scholarships to League of Legends players. What? Really? Dave? Seriously?
Why not, man? They make money. The only purpose of an athletic scholarship is for the college to make money off of the person.
How
That's
do
the
they
only
do
reason.
that?
They give them to the players because they know, well, if we send this guy to school for free, he will make our team better, and people will come buy tickets and watch, and we will get TV deals, and we'll make money off of that person. So there's a lot of money.
So they're going to have an official League of Legends team then? Is that the point?
I assume that's their plan for the long term.
Who are they playing against?
They'll probably just put him in the regular League of Legends leagues. You know?
Until you get other colleges with League of Legends teams, and then they'll play against them, right? And then you'll have to televise that too.
Why not? I mean,
Make it illegal for streaming it.
it's an experiment, but why not see if we'll if it can make money for the colleges, then it's good for the players too. So whatever.
Robert Morris University could become the U of M of esports. They could just build a good deal of the reputation based on the loyalty to that.
Athletic scholarship is weird because I still have a hard time accepting that esports are sports.
They give athletic scholarships to golf players. That's not athleticism. You're hitting
It's
a
more
ball.
of a sport than a video game, don't you think?
I think you probably need more calories.
Can I clarify things for British people? I'm not entirely sure what a scholarship like this involves. Do you have to still pass like tests?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
don't
get kicked out of
just
school.
get
It means
for
you
being
get to go to
good.
school for free. They pay for your. They give you free, whatever to go to their school, and
necessarily
you
for-
compete.
If you
Well,
were,
yeah, that's true. They give you a percentage of your.
if you're really good at
schooling.
basketball, say, and you're kind of shit at maths, will they still let you in?
Yeah, it depends what subject you pick as your major, but generally, yes.
That you're expected to. Usually, with a scholarship, you're expected to maintain a certain GPA, or you lose it. But with the case of a school like really big schools, like let's say UConn, which is like the best basketball school in the country, like I'm fairly confident that the teachers are told to let them slide because they need them to perform in their sport.
So your
I
GPA
can't
doesn't
verify
have to be as
that.
good as everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I can't verify. I don't have any proof that they're letting the student who fails this math test get a C so he can keep going. But
There have been controversies about this, James. There have been classes that some people suspect and claim and have even reported in the media that they are so easy anyone could pass them, and they exist primarily so athletes can keep their GPA up. So, yes, that question does come up. Now, nobody, so far as I know, sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there.
Nobody
Totally.
has ever died from scholarship.
No, oh, sorry. Nobody outside the United States does athletic scholarships like this.
No, I was going to
College,
say, I've never heard of it.
college athletes just don't matter. But in a lot of America, like the college football team is cheered for with way more passion than the NFL team. And you don't hear about this outside the country as much. But like there are plenty. I went to a school that wasn't the U of M, and there were plenty of people who wore U of M T-shirts, and I had no idea why. But it turns out they were just fans of the team, so they went to a different college, but they liked the team at this one, and they were just so like it's a huge moneymaker for a lot of these universities. So it's come to drive a lot of the function of them. Now,
I mean, everybody in Connecticut wears UConn stuff.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
especially in Connecticut because we don't have a professional sports team.
Yeah.
That's like not a minor league team. So the only thing we have to hang our pride on is that we have the best college basketball team consistently.
Now,
So.
a lot of people. I was just in Nebraska, just driving through Nebraska over the weekend, and they got friggin' flags for theirs because there's nothing else in Nebraska. I think they've got a university and some cow yards, so they just love the shit out of their football team, their college football team. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal for a lot of areas.
I've heard there's places in Connecticut or in Texas where like high school football is like gigantic. People like
Now,
who don't have kids that go to the school go every Friday night and watch the high school game.
When I was down in Louisiana, I definitely went to a high school football game, and I think it had more pomp and circumstance surrounding it than a lot of like pro athletics.
Yeah,
They had
that's crazy
a
to me.
marching band going crazy. They had cheerleaders going the whole time. It was like a concert. It was insane. I didn't even care about the game.
I
They were
can't
just
imagine being like a
crapping
15-year-old
around it. Oh yeah, it's
being like a 15-year-old kid and having like thousands of people coming to watch me play a sport.
Crazy.
That must be
But
insane.
you know what I've even more trouble imagining now that we set the context here. I have trouble imagining a culture shift wherein people watch people play League of Legends instead of football. I'm sorry, I just can't picture it. I love watching people play video games, and it's pretty clear if you look at some of these streaming sites and YouTube and sites like it. Lots of people share my passion. I just have a hard time thinking of people cheering for a local team because it's their local video game team. I just don't know if that same culture can develop. Do you think so, Dave?
Well, I watch more Dota than sports, so
Oh, okay. Okay.
I probably watch at least 1 or 2 pro Dota games a day.
So let's say
That's
there was a
easy.
Connecticut Dota team. Would you cheer for that Dota team over some of the favorite players you've already found and watch regularly?
No,
Because
because like I mean, my favorite hockey team's from Philadelphia, and I've never lived in Philadelphia, so
Sure.
I pick based on players that I like, and then I stick with that team when that player, like for me it was John LeClaire when I was a little kid, and then I just stick with the Flyers.
Sure, but like I'm more interested in how you watch esports, and you
Well,
don't
my
think
favorite team is based out of wow, I'm totally blanking on the country, but it's a country next to Russia. The team Navi. So there are U.S. teams, and I don't root for them. So
That's interesting. So I am unsure if this kind of quote-unquote athleticism will lend itself well to regional rivalries, but we'll see. Congratulations on being the first to try this experiment and getting some press, Robert Morris University. Moving right along, gentlemen.
oh shizzle, Ukrainian.
Yeah.
That's the country. Sorry, Ukraine.
But with the Google I/O conference, I'm trying to see if there's anything juicy or interesting, and I got to be honest, there doesn't look
There's
like
nothing.
there is.
There's just
Did
nothing
we ever
going on.
talk about the Amazon phone once it was all done? I know we kind of like glazed over it while it was happening, but was there anything about that phone that was interesting to you guys?
You know what? I'm not sure we have
Absolutely
to.
nothing.
But didn't it have like a physical buy this button? That's interesting.
Yeah,
kind
and
of-
it has like that weird thing where like it's like 3D-ish, like you as you move it,
It's
the
3D if you move your head, yeah.
yeah, the thing moves. But the thing that surprised me about it was I was expecting it to be kind of like priced like the Google phone, the Nexus, where like you could get it with no contract for like $300 or $400, but it's actually priced like right on par with the iPhone, $199 on contract, $650 off contract.
Do you think it's a good enough phone to justify that?
I mean, it seems like a really nice phone. I'm stuck in the iPhone ecosystem, so I wouldn't get it. But it seems very nice. I'm sure that based on the specs, it's worth it. It's just next to like the Nexus. I don't know. I mean, it seems like you'd be better off getting a Nexus that has normal Android installed on it.
Yeah. So we did announce it
I
during
have a
last
problem with
week's
this
show.
fake Android stuff. Like, I don't know. If I'm gonna get an Android phone, I would want it to have full access to Google Play and not this weird modified Android thing.
Well, they've got the Amazon ecosystem, and I don't know how much I trust them either, because they're interested in selling me a lot more than apps. But I don't know how much I trust Google, come to think of it, so why not trust the company that wants to sell me condoms and bullets? I don't know.
Is that what you get advertised on Amazon? Condoms?
That's all they want to sell me is condom and bullets.
What do you do on the internet that makes them think that that's what you want?
You know what? I just go to random Amazon pages sometimes to see what kind of amusing results I can get.
I get
So all I
video
look at-
games and things of that nature like a normal person.
Oh, here's something really amazing from the conference. Really, really amazing. Seriously, guys.
Okay, you're really building this up. I hope it lives up to it. I'm expecting something fantastic.
So they're just showing off some cool smartwatch stuff, right? And there's a Pinterest app that will notify users when you're near a place pinned by someone you follow, and it gives turn-by-turn directions to the location instantly.
Oh
Shit.
my god!
This is a
Sell all
game
your
changer.
stock in Apple. Apple's over. Android's going to just do everything. Really? Just like that.
That's
Holy crap.
amazing.
That's
Wow.
incredible. I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
I love Pinterest. I live my life around the latest Pinterest features.
You can also order a pizza in about 20 seconds via some watch app. And you can then reorder the same thing a few seconds later.
Okay, you're selling me now, bro. I don't know if you guys listen. I don't know if I don't know how well you guys know me.
Yeah,
I love pizza.
And reordering the pizza.
Like I love pizza. So
don't you make your own pizza at this point?
I make pizza. I order pizza. I get slices of pizza. I mean,
How many pizzas do you eat a week?
I'm sold.
How many
have
pizzas
your
a week?
watch be like, I want my standard pizza order number 3, and it would just give you like one of your standard pizza orders, and it would just show up, and you don't have to do anything else. That actually is legit, kind of awesome.
Well, the Pizza Hut app already has that in the Pizza Hut app, though. You can just go to, if you have an account, you just go to reorder, and it shows you everything you've ordered, and then you just click the one you want to reorder. So
that's no good unless it's also going to go out and search for the coupon for me.
Well, the Pizza Hut app it just has the deals in it, whatever the deal.
No, not the deals, the actual coupons, the ones they don't tell you about.
See, I'm on their email list and their text list, so I get those sent to me like on a weekly basis, the latest pizza deals. I have leftover Pizza Hut in my fridge from the other day, and I'm going to eat that after we finish this podcast. I'm going to heat it up and eat it. I'm super excited.
True Beepcock says he's banned from eating pizza because he's too fat, so this feature's not for him. Maybe you can order salads. I have no idea.
I
But I really want to move on to this next story, gentlemen. I want to talk about.
Fat, though. Can we all agree?
I have no idea. He's never come on the show. I can't see
I don't
him.
know if he's fat either.
He might look like Jabba the Hutt. He might look like someone who's thin that I can't think of right now. I have no idea.
He's very handsome, though, I must say.
He's a striking gentleman based on his Twitter.
Yeah, he's got a pretty face.
Yeah. Dave Love is real. Moving right along, there is a robot that wants to hitchhike across Canada. And it's stolen my heart. I want this robot to succeed so badly. It's made out of a bucket. It's got 2 rubber boots and some gloves and not much of a head. But it can communicate. It has Wikipedia memorized, apparently, and it can ask for directions. And when you take it into your car, so it can't move. It doesn't have wheels or anything. It's completely dependent on people to help it out. But when you take it into your car, it will politely ask, will you plug me into your cigarette lighter so I can charge? So this is just wonderful. It's half art, it's half experiment, but I think it's absolutely amazing. I want the little guy to succeed. I followed him on Twitter now. I'm really excited about this. You should all read more about it. But Dave, would something like this get across the UK? Because you know what? I'm pretty sure Canadians are going to help him out, and he's going to be fine.
James or Dave?
James.
James. Would it get across the UK? No, you'd have some little kids trashing it in like 20 minutes.
Also, it would only take like 5 minutes to get across the UK. That country. Connecticut.
Only if you go left to right. If you go top to bottom, it'll take at least 4 hours.
You're right. It would have a hard time getting across Europe once it got to Russia, though. It would be hacked and,
I bet this thing is secretly recording everything it hears. That would be hilarious. I want them all to release the best bits later.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
what are you
what
gonna do
people-
around? There's a robot hitchhiking with you. You wouldn't do anything you wouldn't want everyone to hear with the robot there.
Because
It's like a
people
person.
tell their innermost secrets to like their pets and stuff, don't they? So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they probably open up to this.
So yeah, apparently it just does basic conversational skills, and it knows where it is, and it knows how to ask to get to the next town, and it'll be really interested. And yeah, we'll see.
I would pick it up
I
if I
really like
saw
this.
it. I would
I saw
definitely pick it up.
an experiment a couple years ago with a much smaller one, just trying to get around New York City. It just had wheels, and it would go in a straight line, and it just had a sign that said, "I'm trying to get to such and such street," and people just they'd turn it around because why wouldn't you? So I think people are more good than we generally give them credit for, and I do think this is something that will work out. Yeah, I'd totally pick it up. If it's asking, I want to get to this place, yeah, why wouldn't you?
I mean, it depends how far out of the way it was asking me to go. I
Yeah.
have my car, so I can't go too many crazy miles, but
Yeah.
Wouldn't you feel really guilty about then dropping it somewhere that wasn't its final destination? Like if it's trying to get across the whole of Canada?
Really? Do you know how far it is from
dude,
Halifax?
Canada's really big.
I know, but then it's like I want to go to the other side of Canada. Can you take me there? And then what are you supposed to? Well, I can do a
Well,
little
no, I don't think
bit.
it'll do that. I think it'll ask, like, if it's in Halifax, it'll ask you to take you to the next town over. I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
fine here. It's not going to ask you, yeah, can you take me to Victoria?
Have you ever had a hitchhiker try to get a ride from you?
Nope.
Not just someone like standing there, but actually like come up to your car.
No, I've never had that.
We don't
Never.
have hitchhikers in England.
I've had that, and it's really weird. I'm just like, I don't pick up strangers. I had a lady, I was at a gas station, and she's like, I know it's really short, but can you drive me to the CVS, which is like a quarter mile up the street from where we were? And I was like, no.
Oh, that's why it's illegal
She
to walk on a
that far
motorway.
and then wanted a ride for the last quarter mile? That smells like a murder.
Yeah, you can just walk.
Like, you really wanted a ride to go, like, I could see the CVS. I could probably throw a rock and reach the CVS. So I was like, yeah, you're going to murder me, lady. No.
Hitchhike in England, especially in the south of England, people have some kind of you only get what you work for attitude, which is why they sometimes react unfriendly to the idea of hitchhiking. Yeah, damn straight, I'm not going to give you a lift. Go pay for the bus.
I just can't imagine having. But I bet you Justin would pick up a hitchhiker because you've said you've used that thing where you go stay in like random people's houses or let people stay in your house, right?
Yeah, I've done that before, but you can vet them. I don't know about just picking up someone off the side of the road. But it's kind of sad that I wouldn't do that. I think that's a symbol of the downfall of America as it was at its finest. Because people just trusted each other for a long time, and that made the country great. North America, really, is what I'm saying. And, we've just become more and more fearful, less and less trusting of other people. And that's why I like the idea.
Everybody wants to murder me, so...
Yeah.
Why would you pick up any stranger in a country that allows anyone to own a gun? I absolutely cannot fathom that idea.
It's even without a gun though. They could have a knife. If I'm sitting there driving and they just decide to reach over and go, "Blah!" Like what am I gonna do? I can't. I'm sitting there driving.
Fair point. Yeah.
I feel really nervous about pitching up hitchhikers, and I think it's sad that I feel that way. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there was a time when people were friendlier, and people were more trusting, and you know what? People are probably more trustworthy now than before, but we were more fearful than ever before, and there's a variety of reasons for that. But anyways, Hitchbot. Following you on Twitter, I wish you the best. You should all follow him too. We'll see how far he gets together. Listener questions now. Steve,
we have listeners.
We have listeners, and they asked a question, a few questions. Steve DeWitts on Facebook wanted to know the benefits of using a small business offered web tech, so like site design and hosting, versus like a bigger company. And
talking like Squarespace, like those kind of places.
I understand the question, yeah.
This is the question. So I'm going to say what I think it is. Okay, and I really like working with small businesses because you get that attention. You get people talking to you face to face, and you don't feel like it's as nameless. But if you want just to build your own website, take care of it yourself more or less, something like a Squarespace is probably going to work for you. But I don't know, for a lot of people who didn't know what they were looking for, I feel like they end up paying way more if they go with the bigger companies than they necessarily need to because they have no idea what they do and don't need, and you have to dig into it yourself. Now, James, this isn't a problem for you because you can build your own website in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, I was going to say he should look for someone like me, like someone who could do his SEO and his site and his WordPress and his design all in one, obviously.
Well, that's a small business.
kind of obsessive compulsive too, because if there's a problem, I can't leave it alone. I can't just go to bed. I have to fix it.
Yeah. So you need to
Really
find
annoying.
someone who does this, right? And
Yeah.
but the problem is, if you were James Bruce working as yourself, I'd totally hire you. If you were James Bruce working for international conglomerate that designs websites and puts all kinds of restrictions on what you can and can't do, I'd totally not hire you. You know? And I think that's the real pro. If you hire James Bruce, private contractor, you get James Bruce, right? And you get his actual opinion and not whatever he's trying to sell. So, yeah.
But you do have to be careful because there's a load of complete crap being sold out there. I mean, there's in the SEO world at least, there's still a ton of companies that will offer you SEO services and promise you the first page of Google for obscure, stupid keywords that no one searches for.
Yeah.
And it's such a scam sometimes that unless you can get someone who's honest with you like me, then you're not gonna. You may fall into the trap of hiring some stupid team and paying them $50 a month to do literally nothing.
But how do you know who's honest?
You don't. That's the trouble.
I started a WordPress site design thing in a company I worked for. And it was really interesting seeing how customers' expectations ended up with us needing to charge more and more and more. Because as soon as someone pays even a little bit for a website, they expect exactly what their vision is. And you have to make it very clear what you do and don't do if you want to offer something affordable, right? Because if you say, I'm just going to build you a website, they might be picturing a website that has like several sub-websites for their thousands of stores all around the country. And now all of a sudden you've charged $500 for what should be like a $8,000 a year rolling project, right? So, you know, it's really hard for small businesses that are trying to break into the web space to find out what that line is, and that's something I certainly learned while doing this. We ended up charging a lot more a couple years in than we did initially. Because even if you say this is all you get, people are like, yeah, but that doesn't seem right. You can't charge me extra now. You said you'd build my site. So, you know, small companies need to define what they will and won't do, James. Because if you, let's say I hire you to build a site, right?
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. You have to be.
I'm going to build a really simple site. You're going to build me a really simple, beautiful site, and I'm going to be like, but I wanted something in the sidebar that would do something amazing, like every time someone thinks of pizza, it just pops up there, and then you have to explain that it's not possible for computers to read thoughts, right? And then you just, yeah, people have no idea what's easy and what's hard, right? Because I had someone else who said, well, I'd really like it if you could link to my Twitter profile, right? But if that's too hard, I can understand. You don't need to do that necessarily. They had no idea that would take seconds, right? No idea. They don't know what's complicated and what's really simple. So, you know, you really got to make sure that you can trust the person you're working with. That's the main thing, I'd say. And you got to make sure, if you're selling websites, building for people, that you can trust the person that you're building this website for, because there's nothing worse than a bad client. It's the worst. I don't know if you've had this, James.
No, mine have been pretty good.
Oh, I've had people who just like agree to the initial terms of the project when they have it explained, and I'm still like, you know what? No, I don't think you should work with us, and they just insist, and then 2 months later it goes exactly like I thought. So, you know, there's just some people who think they can find the lowest price and get everything they want for that low price when they should be paying a lot more. So, anyways, kind of my thoughts on small business website design. Hosting, I don't know.
Is an initial price quote just to get the basic site up, and then perhaps a monthly consulting fee, which includes, say, however many hours for whatever questions you have or whatever work needs done.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about SEO or get some link building done or tweak some stuff, then that's a part of that.
Yeah. It's really important. But hosting, I have to say, I don't know as much about small hosting companies. I've mostly worked with the bigger ones. But I know some of the little guys do a much better job for cheaper, and the customer service is usually a lot better. For like a site that you really need to stay up. For if you just want like a little profile site that's maybe going to get a couple thousand a month, going with the big one's probably better, wouldn't you say, James?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's all about what you need. Anyways, that's about all I've got for that. I hope that answered at least some of your questions, Steve. Moving right along, more listener questions here. Are you guys following Elite Dangerous at all? Latest beta was released last week, and it looks pretty. That's Idom Davis on Twitter. Dave, do you know what he's talking about? I have no idea.
It's got Oculus support, I believe.
Oh well, that's all that matters. Moving right along.
I know it's
Yep.
like a space game, like like an open world space game, but I don't really play open world space games, so I don't know.
Okay, so sorry, we don't know anything.
Try this, yeah.
About that.
This
Do you
was
wanna
on my
try it?
to-do list.
So
Oh,
it's
okay.
I guess it's like an EVE Online kind of thing, but less
It-
MMO-y.
It's more like Privateer and a really old PC game where you went around and you were like a space pirate and you buy and sell stuff, right?
Space trading.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not my not my
Joystick
kind of
is
game.
really recommending it that you check it out on the Oculus Rift.
Okay,
So-
I do not want to check it out on the Oculus Rift.
we'll look into that a little bit and let you know. Tom Willoughby posted a story on our Facebook about the Android Play Store security flaw, which was outlined by our good friend Dave P. earlier this week on Tech News Digest. Which, if you don't subscribe to make use of RSS feed, you really should, and one of the main reasons you should is this column, which I think does a good job of getting the key stories every day. So you don't have to read the entirety of Gizmodo. You can just get the summary here and get links to the best stories. Anyways, there's a major security flaw in Google Play. There's secret keys that
Oh, that's
companies use to store data inside their apps.
It's,
And
it's
they've
the secret keys for Facebook API stuff.
Oh, crap. So that's kind
Which
of a
means
pretty
you could start interacting as their Facebook page, kind of.
Well, fantastic. This is great.
Hilarious.
So what can people do to protect themselves? Nothing?
Nothing.
Just die.
Google's going to have to fix something there. That's not really anything a user can do. Yeah.
So you got to be careful about which apps store. Apparently there's one app on Google Play, it's the worst rated app, and it purports to accurately weigh an object you put down on the touchscreen, but it just displays a random number. It's kind of amazing what people think their phone can and can't do, right? Because they have no idea. They have no idea. The first time they found out that there was like a light on the back that you could use as a flashlight, it blew people's minds. They didn't know that it was just the flash being kept on, right? It was just, holy crap, this thing's got a flashlight in it. So why wouldn't it have a scale? I could see falling for that. I could see my grandmother believing that. But that's pretty great. So thanks for putting that our way. And Tom Willoughby also submitted another story about how Phil Fish is still a jerk. I can't believe we're still talking about this guy a year after he basically gave up the internet because of how much he's been harassed.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
love
he's-
Phil Fish.
Let's harass him a bit more.
He said something on Twitter. His Twitter channel's locked down, so only people who are confirmed followers can see it, but I guess someone else saw it. And so him, thinking he was speaking in private, said basically, if you generate money from putting my content on your channel, you owe me money. He's talking about Fez, his game here. He's the designer of the game. He did a lot of work on the look and the music and the sound. And you know what? I think it's a legitimate argument for someone to be making among friends, which he thought he was doing, that he wasn't saying on a public Twitter account, this is what you should all think. He was completely talking with someone in what he thought was semi-private. Anyways, important to have the context here. Saying, streaming is a kind of piracy. Now, it seems like Nintendo agrees with them here. Other companies haven't done anything, but I think you're going to see this argument come up more and more. It's not just the Phil Fishes of the world. You're going to see a lot of people saying this as online streaming of video games becomes a bigger deal. Why shouldn't the makers of, say, EVE Online profit when someone watches a video of someone playing that game? Why shouldn't they? I don't have a good answer for that. Some people say, well, they're promoting... They're promoting it because it's their content, it's their music, it's their art that's showing up on the screen. It's not the essence of the gameplay experience, right? Obviously, if they're putting the game up on a pirated, on BitTorrent or whatever, that's legal, right? But this is a bit of a different line. This is a bit of a different line. So let's say I record the soundtrack of a TV show, right? Just the soundtrack, just the songs, none of the dialogue, and then I share that on the web. Is that legal?
It depends. Are you talking over it and providing analysis?
Yeah, it depends in what context you're playing it.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just have the theme song from MASH on a loop, and I'm talking about the Vietnam War. Am I allowed
No,
to
they're
do
not.
that? It's not the essence
You're
of
allowed to do it.
MASH,
They shouldn't be making
but
money
it's
from
part
it.
of it.
What
What?
if you've just got a TV? What if
But
I
they
turn
do
the
make money
TV on
from
in
it
the
right
background?
Yeah. No, so these are the interesting questions, right? Where is the line? And there's a lot of lawsuits working this out in different ways. Video gaming as an industry, until Nintendo did recently, hasn't really gone off after streamers, right? But it's their art that's showing up on the screen. It's their sound effects that people are hearing, right? There's more commentary, true. But should they not get some compensation for that? I think calling him a dick for thinking this is kind of, again, he's not arguing this in an editorial in the New York Times. It's something he said on his private Twitter channel. So he said systems are in place to prevent that. But buy feds, put all of it on YouTube, turn on ads, make money from it, and that's totally fine. I don't think that's an illegitimate question to ask. If I put 5 years of my life into Fez the way he did, I think I'd feel a little uncomfortable with people making a living just playing it and streaming it and talking about it over it. I don't know. I don't think that makes him a dick. I think it's a legitimate point. I think there's more ways to look at this.
I mean, a lot of developers actually send their games to like people like PewDiePie and tell him to play them and record it because it's like,
you know what?
Promotion.
It's probably going to help sell games. It's probably going to help sell games, right? But
there was actually a study done that showed that PewDiePie is the reason that Flappy Bird blew up.
Oh, because he played Flappy Bird.
That game sat idly, didn't sell anything, nobody downloaded it. PewDiePie found it one day, he made a video, and within 48 hours after of him making a video of Flappy Bird, that whole thing happened with the Flappy Bird going.
If we can blame him for that, that seems fair. Yes, that is his fault.
Yeah, thanks, PewDiePie.
Let's pin that one on him.
So, but it just shows you, though, how powerful the people on YouTube playing your game can be. I mean, that Flappy Bird game was nothing. And this one guy who has a following was like, I'm going to play this game and make a video of me going, this game, And then all of a sudden, boom, that guy made so much money that he couldn't even keep up with it and had to take his game down because he couldn't handle it. Like,
but
if that's not marketing power, then I don't know what is.
So yes, sometimes it does benefit people to do this, right? But do you really think just because it benefits people that they should just allow anyone to use their content? Do you think I'm making a completely illegitimate point, I guess is what I'm asking?
Yes, I do think you are making a complete bullshit point.
Why is that?
I think the movie argument is really good on this one because you can't do that with a movie, even with commentary. You can't just put a movie on YouTube and talk over it. So.
Yeah, but that's because a movie is the entire experience of watching something that's basically being played out.
But yeah, but some story-based games, that really is the experience. Is the story. The gameplay is just a method of delivering the story to you. But if once you've seen the story, if you were to find out the ending of like Grand Theft Auto 5, would you still want to play it?
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty theatrical game. So I think there's a line here, right? If I play through Fez, right? And I take some of the highlights visually and I write a review of the game, that's clearly fair use, right? If I just do, but if I play the whole game from beginning to end, reveal all the plot twists, all the music's in there at some point, all I'm saying is that there's a spectrum here, and it's really hard to determine at this point in history where it ends. Now, of course, I'm not getting the essence of playing Fez across, right? Because people watching that video can't interact with the game. But where's the line? Where's the line? I mean, there's Red Letter Media, and they have like reviews of the Star Wars trilogy, like the prequel trilogy, longer, I think, than the Star Wars movies themselves, because they get into so much depth. And if you haven't watched these reviews, they're amazing, and you should go to redlettermedia.com and watch the Star Wars trilogy reviews and their completion. Yes, it's painful to revisit those awful memories, but this almost makes it worthwhile. And I can't wait
to watch the Star Wars trilogy, let alone a review of it.
Watch these videos, James. You personally will love them. Right? So a lot of the movie is there, right? But there's commentary over it constantly. It's not just the movie playing in straight order with him talking over it. It's edited in a different way. Pretty clearly makes fair use. Now, if I were doing a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing, right, and I just talk over a movie through its completion with the whole movie playing, that's totally different, isn't it? I don't know. These things that's not allowed. You can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, but I think if you watch the Red Letter Media, I think most of the movie's there, but they do it in a way that's unique enough that I think it's within fair use. And so fair use is what's at issue here, right? How much of a video game can you show in a video series and still have it be fair use? I don't know the answer to this. I do think that Giant Bomb's Let's Play videos, they're not Let's Play videos, what do they call them? Quick looks. I think those fall within it, but they don't play the whole game, right, Dave?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the whole game where it gets weird.
Game. If you play through all of Fez and upload that, that's different than just playing it for an hour and uploading it. So I don't know. It depends how much of the essence of the product you think have gotten across. So I don't know.
The
I
whole
don't
game.
think
Do you mean like in episodes, or do you mean like someone literally sitting down and playing the whole game in one session?
It's usually
What's
in
that?
episodes because YouTube doesn't want people to put up 20-hour videos or whatever, you know.
So it's okay to play this session and then this session, but it's not okay to play
No, but
all those
I think
sessions.
I personally like the way the Giant Bomb thing, where it's like they put up a taste of the game and that's it. You know, that they don't do multiple videos of the whole game.
I don't think anyone complains about that. It's like a preview, and then by the end of it, you want to play the game. But some
Or
of them
you don't, depending on your impressions from what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, there's
All
nothing
I'm saying,
inherently
and
bad about
there's a good video here talking about Phil Fish is an asshole and how it relates to a whole bunch of cultural baggage. You should check out this video if you haven't. It's in the show notes. I'll put it in the chat room right now. But I think it explores the issue. I like him too. I don't see what people's problem is.
He says whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't care if people get pissy about it. That's his
Screw
opinion,
everyone.
and fuck you. Take it or leave it, you know?
I thought Fez was a damn good game. Yeah, and you know what? That attitude worked well, and then he became famous. He didn't want to become famous, but he became famous. And then what
Well,
was
I don't know if
okay
you could say he didn't want to become famous. He starred in a movie about making a game. If
He
you
didn't start that movie. He didn't start that movie. He didn't start that movie.
No, he starred,
in it.
Oh,
you
okay.
don't choose
He
to
was
star in
in
a
the
movie
movie.
if you don't want to be famous.
Hey, we're making a movie about indie game devs. Would you like to be in it? Oh my god, yes, I want to be famous. Like,
You don't know that was his attitude going into it.
Yeah, but
You
if you're going to be in a movie, you know there's a pretty damn good chance that you're probably going to get famous. So if you
But he
really
was
don't want to be
kind of-
famous, you shouldn't be in a movie.
we're
He was
making a
kind of-
movie, we promise no one will watch it. It's okay.
He was kind of internet famous before that, though, which is why they asked him to be in the movie.
Yeah, but that really
That's a
put
fair
him
point.
to the forefront. He was kind of internet famous. After that movie, he was he was the name, like he was the flag bearer of indie game developers. I can't name many other indie game developers by their full name, but I know Phil Fish.
Yeah.
And it was because I watched that movie.
Him
That
and
first-
Jonathan Blow, I think, are the ones.
Yeah, Jonathan Blow is another one.
He wasn't in
There's a
that.
few of them. Who was also in that movie, though.
Oh,
Most
he
of
wasn't.
them are in that movie.
Okay, so there you go. I mean, it was a good movie. It was a great movie. I really
I
enjoyed
enjoyed
it.
it a
Hate
lot.
Indie game devs.
What? Why? How could you watch that movie and hate indie game devs as a result? What the
Or
hell
was
is
it
wrong?
just Phil Fish that I hated? I don't know. It was a long time ago. I thought they were kind of dicks, to be honest.
A lot of them are kind of pretentious, I gotta say. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the people in the movie have like this holier than thou. They think their games are far more important than they are attitude. It's like, yo, you're just making a piece of entertainment. You're not changing the world. But, you know,
I don't know.
a lot of
I don't know.
artists
I
feel
shudder
act
to
like
think-
that. So
I shudder to think someday of James Bruce becoming internet famous for I don't know what reason, right?
New-
And then someone digging through all the crap he said on this podcast for the last 3 years, and then digging it up, and you would be an asshole. You would be considered an asshole pretty quickly, James.
But he would
so
be
what I
proud of it.
think.
I
he would
plan
run
to
away
never
from it.
become
He
famous.
would run into it with his
Yeah.
hands held high. He'd be biting
Yeah.
Italian people like and
I don't know.
Like,
I would highly recommend everyone who thinks Phil Fish is just an asshole watch this video. I think it outlines it way better than I can here. Yeah, just watch it. That's all I got. I think that's all we got this week, gentlemen.
I think it is.
The chat room, kind of crap this week. Sorry about that. I'm gonna follow up with the guys from TLK.io, see if we can get them on.
Maybe we should
Ask
just use
the
Blue
question.
Chat next week.
Can we embed that in the
There is-
page?
There is a little bit of interesting news here. Google are working on making Android applications work on Chromebooks.
That is interesting.
It's only been demonstrated so far with Evernote, Vine, and Flipboard, but if they can expand that to work generically with anything,
Yeah.
that could be potentially rather interesting.
We'll see. I'm skeptical.
Other than that, they've launched a TV thing, which is going to be on like every smart TV from Sharp and Sony for the next 2 years or something.
Oh, good. So that's the future security vulnerability we all have to worry about when Google. You heard it here first, guys. New Google TV.
Wouldn't it be cool to have like a TV that basically just had like an Apple TV in the TV and you didn't need a thing to do it?
They already do that. They're smart TVs.
Yeah, but smart
and they
TVs
suck.
are garbage. Like one that actually had like the speed and the interface that worked well, and it was just like.
You are going to want to upgrade that way before you're going to need a new TV, and you're paying so much more for a TV than you would for a box like that. So I think that's stupid. That's just
It's all right.
like,
You can
if
just download some more RAM.
What's up?
You can just download some more RAM, right?
I mean, there's no reason you couldn't upgrade it like you can upgrade a computer. You know, if it's got.
Well, there
power.
is, because it's a consumer device, and you wouldn't be able to upgrade it.
If it was modular,
That's just because they make it that way. But they could make it so that you could.
But they're not going to, because they want you to spend the $3,000 on a new big screen television.
Well, I'm gonna go to their houses and slap them all in the face. Then.
There you go. You heard it here
Problem
first.
solved.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Technophilia. You give us so much by listening, and we give you so little back in return.
Really? I disagree. They don't give us anything.
If you could do just a little more for us and go to Facebook.com/.
Yeah, that would be good. Like, tell your friends, douchebags.
Yeah, tell your friends to listen to the show. You can let them know to just ignore James at first, because he's an acquired taste, shall we say.
And don't follow him on Twitter.
Don't follow James on Twitter, but you can go to Facebook.com/Technophilia Podcast, hit the like button, and maybe add Technophilia Podcast to your interests. Make sure the posts actually get through, because Facebook's a dick, and they want us to pay them to reach you now. Anyways, you can do that, and you'll see updates about the show, and you can, right there, leave us suggestions about what we should talk about. And you know what? We'll talk about it, because we got nothing to do over here. You can also follow us at The Technophilia on Twitter. Make use of .com is the site that promotes the show. We get a lot of our content from it. They employ us. We love them. Check that out. Subscribe there, too. You can follow me at JHPot. You can follow James. Well, don't, because that's a stupid thing to do.
You follow me at
James, you just said you want Twitter to go away, and yet you're asking.
Why would you want people to follow you, jackass?
I don't know, but I have 533 followers. Why?
What?
Why do I have 533 followers? What are they following? Why are they following me?
I want to know when you order Pizza Hut.
Oh, now I got it. Well, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
I saw the thing come up that was tweeting. It was like, would you like to share that you bought this this pizza? And I was like, oh, James. And then I didn't share it.
I think they changed it because I do their quality control testing thing, and then I sent some rather harsh feedback. May have sworn at their team and told them to not fucking share on my Facebook feed again and to change that feature.
Why did you give them access to your Facebook?
They should pay me to eat Pizza Hut.
I really don't understand. Why did you do that?
Because if it says, like, log in, and there's a button to do it, and it doesn't involve me typing in an email address, typing in a password, only to be told, I'm sorry, your password is too crap. Please put some punctuation in there. And then I'm like, how am I going to remember a password with punctuation in it? Now I'm going to have to go to another website and generate a password, or I could just click the goddamn Facebook button. Then I'm going to click that.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Well, then you can't complain when they put stuff on your page, because that's why they do that.
I can and I will.
What do we got for art this week?
Some title suggestions. A lot of them involved Phil Fish, Internet Famous. I kind of like that one.
Like Internet Famous. Is there one of us wearing sunglasses?
There's been a lot of protesters at this Google I/O conference. There was someone standing up and holding a sign that said, where is it? Says, develop a conscience. Stop something. I can't read the rest. And then someone else has just stood up and what is he saying? Something about robots that kill people. It's not entirely clear without being there. Obviously, they're not
Well,
clearly reporting on it.
they did buy a company. We talked about this earlier. I forget the name of the company. That
Oh, that was the robots that run around. Yeah. The big dog
and
ones,
they
whatever they're
do.
called.
That company does have military contracts, so they are in the domain where they can legitimately be protested by anti-war peoples at this point.
There was another title that I liked that was "Everyone Wants to Murder Me."
Everyone wants to murder me. Who said
Yeah,
that?
that was from Dave when we were talking about how I don't want to pick up hitchhikers because I think everybody wants to murder me.
Why is Dave picking up my old speckled hen? What's wrong
I'm
with
going
that?
with Internet Famous. I like Internet Famous.
All right, internet famous. Are we internet famous though?
So Kashi, I have to say, is holding his laptop in the air with one hand to get enough of a signal so he can watch the show. This is happening right now, okay? We have one of the most dedicated podcast listeners in the history of podcasts, I think. And Kashi, if you can hear this, which I know you probably can't because your connection's crap, thank you. Deeply, deeply appreciated.
Hey, I really like the name
our
Three
loves.
Guys One Podcast. Can we keep that? Can we make that an
We are
official
not
thing?
doing Three Guys One podcast. Or like you
God
mean
damn it,
replace
they've already got it.
Three Guys One? Of course someone already has that.
Oh, that sucks. There's quite a few of them.
There's
Well,
quite a few shows called that already.
Yeah, there is. We should at least use that as the title.
3 guys, 1 mic.
No, but we have 3 different microphones, so that makes no sense.
Shut up. 3 guys, 1 brain.
I don't know. I've already got really simple art here, and I like it.
I'm trying to make my life exciting, so I've been stealing candy recently. Crime is exciting, but I'm not a real criminal. It's a low-stakes crime. If they catch me, I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot to pay. Here's 75 cents. But if they don't catch me, then I stole some candy.
What are you talking about? What?
That's a quote from Dave Chappelle.
What? Why did you... I thought it was one of our listeners who was like using our chat room as a confessional.
No, I saw it on Reddit, and I thought it was pretty funny because I can imagine myself stealing candy and being like, yeah, if I get caught, it's just candy. You're not going to arrest me.
But it's going to be a big headline that Dave Chappelle is stealing candy.
Well, he just said, like he said, he could just say, oh, sorry, I forgot. Here's 75 cents for the candy.
But now he has said this on the record.
Well, Dave Chappelle doesn't think things through fully
No.
because he's Dave Chappelle and he's done a lot of drugs.
Yeah. Okay, I got our art. You know, I'm pretty happy with it. We don't always need to Photoshop something. This looks like a paparazzi caught a shot of him. So he's internet famous. I'm happy with it. So James, it sounds like you're a first week of childhood.
You mean fatherhood?
Fatherhood? Childhood?
James' first week of childhood. He's gone back in time.
Having a childhoodness?
That's 2 weeks even.
What is the first thing that you said to your child?
Yeah.
I said, which small island nation shall we take over first?
Interesting.
You know that he doesn't have the listening comprehension to know what you said, right?
Have you
He
turned
totally
your
does,
child-
because then he was like, tee.
Have you turned your child upside down yet to see how it reacts to being upside down?
Why the hell would I do that?
I don't know. I know.
Is that
I
okay?
figure you seem like the kind of guy that would like to experiment.
I would, but not on turning him upside down. More like
I feel like
teaching
that's not
him
gonna
how
really
to
do
code.
that.
I would teach him the code when he's 4 weeks old.
So we've got art that's done now, and I think it's pretty good, Dave. But Drew Peacock, who is Dave Parak in real life, wants to know if I should let you do your magic with the art. Could you think of something better? And if you want to do something, Dave, with one of these Phil Fish ones, I would be more than happy to see it.
I don't know. I can open up Photoshop and see what I come up with.
I believe it was Dave Phil's Fish. Phil Feels Fish. 2 fish, 1 Phil. What are you, people? Yeah, I did think it was weird you were drinking Old Speckled Hen from a can instead of a pint glass.
I will
Scrolling
make
through
it
some
drink,
middle class.
I will submit it,
What?
and then I will let you know. Then you can decide if you like it. They can
Did you
all-
call me so middle class?
I did, drinking from a glass, moaning about that. You're so middle class.
I'm not moaning about it. I just think you're not getting the best taste you possibly could. Because it tastes like aluminum mostly.
Dave's point was that I wasn't drinking from a bottle.
Oh, you're supposed to buy the bottle. I buy the cans and I pour it into a pint glass. Some of the best brew
That's
pubs.
really middle class. That is.
Some of the best brew pubs around here, they don't do bottles anymore because it costs more, but they make really good beer. Yeah, you can't get it in bottles.
You're a bottle.
You know that doesn't work in every context.
Popping bottles in the club.
Okay. How's your photoshopping going?
I'm not sure.
Well, I'm content to leave you to your own devices and get some lunch for myself, but that might be
Then
the
how's
jackass.
everyone going to see it?
Well, I already made art. It doesn't care. Everyone saw mine.
But they wanted to see mine.
Okay. And then, like, have a vote?
I don't know.
I don't know, guys. What's a good after-show conversation?
James's baby.
James's baby, yeah. Yeah, what kind of technology have you used to record the baby's life so far? Do you have, like, a little heart rate monitor on it? I just picture you buying all sorts of random shit.
No, nothing. We don't even have a baby monitor.
Oh,
Wait,
why would
then
you
how
have
do
a
you know if
baby
it
monitor?
dies?
I assume you've got cameras in every room of your house already that are connected to the internet. No? Okay.
How do
That's
we know it?
surprising.
How big is your house? How big is your house?
How big is our house? It's a ex-council estate terraced house, so it's like one main bedroom, one tiny bedroom, then a living room and a kitchen, and that's about it.
That's about it. So you got the tiny bedroom for the kid. That's good. I was thinking ahead. What room are you in now?
Oh, this is something I added on this year. This was like a garden shed that I did up.
You're in a shed.
It's basically a garden shed, yes.
Is it attached to your house? There seems to be a hallway behind you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Well, we opened up the door. It was attached to the house, but there was no door between it.
Also, you
before.
built a door. You like
Knocked out a hole, yeah.
sheetrock. It looks like, and you like insulated it.
Yep.
Finished it. Looks good. So that's your office now.
That's my office now.
Who built
Yeah,
this?
so my office is actually the second bedroom in our apartment. So when we have guests, all their stuff's in here. And before the show, they were rooting around behind me, and I'm like, "Hey, you're on the internet." And they're like, "No, I'm not." And then James is like, "Yes, you are." So that was a little
Who
bit.
are these guests?
They're my in-laws.
Oh,
Well,
Finlaws.
they actually got home before me. I was in Chicago over the weekend for a wedding, and they were here when we got back.
And you were so happy to have them.
Incredibly. They're great. Everyone loves their in-laws, right? That's like a universal thing.
I like my in-laws.
Yeah? Oh, you're
Well,
not
I'm not
married.
married,
You technically
but-
don't have in-laws, but you practically are married.
I like the people who are like my in-laws that
Yeah.
aren't legally my in-laws.
But basically are.
I do quite like my in-laws, but I can't talk to them, so that's a bonus.
That would help, I suppose.
I could, with you being who you are, Jake, that being quite helpful
Yes.
to the experience of someone liking you. He keeps
Yeah,
making
when I went
sense.
over to
That's
China
somewhat
and
charming. Yeah.
my wife introduced me to them. I mean, she didn't translate anything I said. She just said what she wanted to say.
I could see that as making the transition go much more smoothly. And you don't know what they're saying about you. So I could see that as being pretty helpful. Hey, Dave,
Yo,
get that screen share going.
I
where's the
don't want you to
artwork?
see it until it's done.
Oh, really? You're building up anticipation here, eh?
I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't know what you're
It
doing.
is more what it is.
Do you have a fish?
I don't. But I have a fill.
I
I'm
don't
holding
see
a
anything
laptop
truly
sideways
exciting from.
Maybe I should stand outside. That's you keep
Google I/O yet. It's
You're bonkers. Technophilia isn't that good. I gotta say I'm on Peacock's side here. I don't know if I'd have that dedication. Especially, like, there's gonna be a podcast in a couple hours you can, like, listen to. But I'm not gonna say that it's a bad thing you're doing. I admire it on some level. And I'm honored that you... I admire that Kashi is subjecting himself to physical pain to hear us talk more live.
That is weird.
You know, I'm honored, frankly.
What is
Dave,
happening?
what are you doing? Hurry up.
I'm worried. This is a piece of art, bro. It takes time. This is like Jesus making something, making water into wine. It doesn't happen instantly.
Yeah, it did. That was why it was so amazing, actually.
Oh.
Dude,
Well, I'm not up on my lore.
you're not up on your lore. Do you even Bible? Do you even know?
Bro, do you even Bible?
Do you even Bible?
Turns out I don't, apparently.
Yeah.
Alright, I got that part done.
No, I gotta say, I'm kind of bummed about Arrow. But I
Sounds
guess
to me
this
like
will
bad.
encourage more people to like build their own DVRs and get their own antennas. You know, Apple could have killed Arrow in a second just by adding a TV antenna to the iPad. You know, that's all it would take. And a TV antenna wouldn't even take up that much space. These signals are all around us constantly.
That's scary.
I wonder if we'll see technology take its place that's even better.
I don't like the idea of signals being around me.
They are right now. AM radio, FM radio, digital television. It's floating around your head right now. You're
So
right
they
by
can-
New York and Philadelphia, so there's like a crap ton of them.
So they can hear my thoughts?
No, that's
Oh,
not how
okay.
TV signals work, jackass.
Okay, I'm good. I'm just making sure, because, you know,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how these things go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a weird ruling. It's a weird ruling.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I find it
Ooh.
acceptable. What the hell am I making right now?
Did you have baby showers? Let's make this really manly.
Baby showers? What, do you mean I stand in the shower with a baby?
No. Do you not have
No.
baby showers in England? Is that not a thing?
Oh, is
Or
that
like-
like a baby party, like where you introduce, what is it? It's like a
People
new
give you
baby party.
gifts, like baby stuff. They come to your house and they like give you presents to help you with your new baby, like a crib or something. And there's like a whole party where people just give you tons of crap.
We've had a few friends who would come around and they gave us some presents, yeah, but we haven't
You don't
really
have-
done like a...
There's not like a
What?
dedicated social function for
Yeah,
this.
no.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't like them. I think they are boring.
I don't really see the point. But honestly, look, we live in a tiny house. Like, we couldn't fit that many people in, even if
Well,
we
it's
wanted to.
usually like your mom organizes it for you at their house. So it's not even like your house typically.
Oh! Oh, yeah, my parents wouldn't go for that. No. They don't want to ruin their house with the, like, oiks. No.
What kind of party are you picturing? These are just like a bunch of people like, yay, look how cute these little booties are. Like, okay, I was just
Hey,
curious.
stop judging my booty, okay?
Yeah, no, that's not a thing we have. Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of weird stuff like that involves buying stuff for people here. There's
Yeah.
what we don't have in Canada that's apparently super common throughout the States is like open houses. So like you graduate from high school and you have an open house and then like everyone your family knows comes over and gives you money basically. And you like give them cake.
Why?
I have no idea. I don't get this at all, but it's super common in like parts of America apparently. I find it very strange.
Like, congratulations for graduating high school?
Yes, here's some money.
Oh,
Everyone
that's
gives
good. That's like, congratulations on crossing the road.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations on doing a thing everyone does. I'm going to give you money now. Yeah, and like
That's so
it's like
stupid.
friends of the family mostly, and they all just bring money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know why it's a thing, but it is. I just never experienced it before.
In fairness, it's almost as stupid as congratulating someone on being another year older.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
time passed.
you just do them because they're nice, you know. You just do them because they're nice.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
Fuck! I messed up, bros.
There's an undo button.
Yeah, but I don't even know
Go to
how
us the screen. Know what you're working on.
I don't even
Tell
know how
him there's undo. Let him.
Showers because I don't know what to say. I gave everyone a solid hour and 15 minutes of Technophilia style analysis, and now I'm done. I'm tired. I'm usually distracted by Photoshop by now. I did my art.
Maybe there's more from Google.
Maybe.
How do I merge? How do I merge layers?
You hit.
I got it. I merged them.
Okay.
I merged them, bros. Consider these layers merged. These layers have been merged hard, yo. So hard you can't even understand how hard.
Something about Google launching a cloud computing service, and like the Mirror has written, somehow it's much, much less interesting than it sounds. He just used the phrase processing topology. Yeah, it sounds.
I don't know.
great.
I find nothing less interesting than like live covering big events like this because you don't know what it means. It's not useful yet. It's just something they're saying they're going to do.
I gotta tell you, I don't really like this art that I made very much.
Well, let's see it. Show it. Show it off.
I don't think it's very good.
We want to see it. Show it to us. You saw my effort. It wasn't huge, but it's, I don't know, it's moderately amusing.
It's me.
What the hell is that?
It's Phil Fish with 3 heads. One of them is me, one of them is him, and one of them is a fish.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You know what? It might get us some attention. Go with it. What was the title?
It was Dave Phil's Fish or something like that.
Go with it. Why not? We did talk about Phil Fish. It's in there technically. Yeah, do it.
What was the suggestion? That was something with my name and Phil Fish.
What? Dave.
There's also there was also 2 fish, 1 Phil.
Oh,
that doesn't make sense. You got 2 fish and 1 Dave.
Well, no, it's saying like I'm a fish and then he's.
Why aren't you okay? Go with it, dude. I don't care anymore. I made mine. It was internet famous. It's a good photo of you. I was amused by it. The chat room's saying it's genius, so I guess we got to go with it.
All right. It is what it is. I should. I've been
have to add
career
the text.
field.
You have to add the text, dude.
All right. I don't have that font that you use though.
It's free. It's free. It is called.
Comic Sans?
It doesn't matter.
Let's get Dave the font so we can make official Technophilia stuff here, okay?
Well, you don't want to go with Comic Sans like I usually use? What's it called?
I'm looking it up. It is called, scrolling up, got font book open here, 04B03. Here, I'll get a link.
What?
That's the name of the font. It's free. It's at dafont.com. Here, I'll put it up on our Slack channel there, buddy.
I found it. 04B_03.
Yep. No underscore in the one I have, but should be just the same.
I found it all by myself because I'm cool.
Dave, you can find fonts online like a mother.
Why don't I see the font folder in my folders?
I have no idea where that is. Can't you just open the font and like get a little, or is that just Macs?
Oh, maybe that works too. I don't know. Let's see.
On a Mac, you can just open the font.
Install!
And there you go. See? See? Windows has new things. You might need to restart Photoshop.
I was gonna say, I'm probably going to have to quit Photoshop in order to make it.
You gotta save it as a PSD.
I'm going to save your PSD.
Gonna save your PSD.
Is that like post-traumatic stress disorder?
Yeah, you're saving it. You're saving it.
All right, now I'm opening Photoshop again.
Yeah.
Two fish, one Dave, or 2 Dave, 1 fish?
I don't know. Chat room, what do you think?
That's what Dave said. Dave Crack said
fish, one
fish,
Dave.
1 Dave.
Okay, I guess I don't get to do art anymore because I'm boring.
Your art is just too good. See, the people want
Did
the
you
bad
see that
art.
last week? It was pretty bad.
Yeah, but you can't compare to me in pure bad.
I guess so. I guess so. We got to give the people what they want.
The people want
Okay.
bad.
We'll go with it. We'll go with it. I still think Phil Fish is all right with me. Fez was a great game. And you know what? Yeah. He doesn't have a PR team telling him what to say
Do you
when.
put any like effects on the fonts, or do you just like this doesn't look like yours?
I do a drop shadow, so it'll look good.
That doesn't look right. That doesn't look like yours.
Too, because it's correct. I don't know about what you found.
The underscore must be different. Do you use all caps?
No, I don't.
It looks better in all caps.
That's definitely not the same font.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Okay. This is why I like doing it, because I like care a little bit.
It's similar, so it's fine. There, drop shadow, boom, look at that.
It's gonna look better white with the drop shadow.
Oh, is that what you normally use? White?
Yeah, white with drop shadow.
Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that shit. Beautiful.
That looks kind of like the Fez font, actually. I'm okay with it.
Two fish. That's not a comma.
Two fish is great. Two fish, one Phil.
One Dave. They said.
Two fish, one Dave. Okay, that's good.
That's what I've been told by the chat room because technically.
Make that 2 lines. Make that 2 lines, I think.
Oh, okay. How's that?
Looks pretty good.
Move it down a bit.
Yeah. Drop shadow it. You can just copy layer style over at the right there.
Shh. Don't tell me how to art.
I thought maybe you had some specific drop shadow set. But it looks like you
whatever the default one is.
Whatever. Then. Yeah.
How about 60-point font? Make it a
Ladies
little
and gentlemen, the video editor for makeuseof.com.
Well, I'm used to Premiere. I know how to use that. I don't know how to use Photoshop.
Okay. I used to do the manuals, and I would design all the cover for makeuseof.com/pages. You can see it there. And I learned a lot of Photoshop doing that, and now I don't do it.
Yeah, I am no kind of graphic designer, as you can see.
Yeah. I need to move Two Fish, One Dave up a little because it's causing me physical pain seeing how not balanced those two things are.
You want it up a little? All right, I could do that.
Well, look where Technophilia is relative to the top. You got to make it relative to that at the bottom, or you move Technophilia up. You just need.
How about right there?
Sure. Then move Technophilia up a little.
Up? Oh
yeah.
God, this is so hard. That?
Okay, that's good. Do it.
Phone. Save for web. Save.
Oh, they're just about to announce which gadgets they're giving to the Google I/O participants.
Oh, really? How exciting for those of us who aren't there.
No, I love it when they start throwing. Like, remember that year when they threw out billions? This is mad. I hate it when they do that.
Why do you sound like you've been inhaling helium? Are you okay?
What's going on over there?
The Germans are finally reinvading, and they're starting with helium, so no one will take their pleas to the UN seriously. UKIP's gonna be pissed.
Look at that quality photoshopping of my hair, though. It's so good.
Yeah, you just cut straight lines out.